We are back and ready to dig a little deeper into the details of Lone Oak campsites.
Perfect.
Now, we talked about rules for kids and adults. What about the furry family members?
Pets are definitely welcome, but there are some guidelines to make
Perfect.
sure everyone, including the pets, has a positive experience.
Oh.
So first and foremost, pets must always be leashed and under control. You don't want dogs running around loose
Yeah.
and bothering other campers,
Hey.
and you can't leave them unattended on site either.
Okay.
While you're exploring the campground, be mindful of designated pet walking areas.
Okay.
And of course, always clean up after your pet.
It's just basic pet etiquette.
Right. And it's worth noting that pets are not allowed in public buildings or the pool area.
Okay.
And with the exception of those specific pet-friendly rentals we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
pets are not permitted in rental units.
Makes sense.
And just a reminder to all pet owners, be prepared to show an up-to-date rabies certificate if asked.
Always better to be prepared.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about transportation within the campground. What about bicycles and scooters? Are those allowed?
Yes, they are, but there are some rules to keep in mind.
Of course there are.
Helmets are mandatory for anyone under 16
Okay.
and highly recommended for all ages.
Safety first.
And bicycles and scooters should only be ridden in designated areas, not in restricted zones, like the rec hall hallway or office patio.
Okay.
Plus, they need to be back at your campsite by dusk.
Okay. So again, rules in place to prevent accidents and keep things orderly.
Right. Now, shifting from 2 wheels to 4 wheels,
Okay.
let's talk about driving within the campground.
All right. Safety first.
Yes, so the speed limit throughout the entire campground is 7 miles per hour.
That's pretty slow.
But it's necessary.
Yeah, I guess so.
Remember, you're sharing the roads with pedestrians, children playing, and other vehicles. So it's important to be extra cautious in congested areas and always obey traffic signs.
Be aware of your surroundings.
Exactly.
That's
Now,
fine.
speaking of vehicles,
Yes.
let's talk about golf carts.
Okay. Rules for golf carts.
Yes,
Yeah.
because all golf carts must be registered with the office,
Okay.
and you need proof of liability insurance.
Okay.
Drivers need a valid driver's license.
Mhm.
Passengers must remain seated while the cart is in motion. And headlights must be on after sunset.
So they're really cracking down on unsafe golf cart behavior.
Absolutely. And there are designated areas for golf cart use.
Okay.
They're allowed on paved and gravel roads and in open fields, but not through campsites or other restricted areas.
Again, respecting boundaries and the safety of others.
Right. And probably goes without saying, but no driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and absolutely no joyriding.
So no shenanigans with the golf carts.
No Lone Oak takes safety very seriously.
Okay, good to know. So what about other types of motorized vehicles?
Well, for those with personal golf carts or other unregistered motor vehicles, make sure they're clearly marked with your name and site number,
Okay.
using letters and numbers at least 2 inches high.
Okay, so just easy identification.
Yes.
Keep things organized.
Now, for those who might be tempted to bring along other motorized toys, there are some restrictions.
Okay.
ATVs, mini bikes, go-karts, dirt bikes, and gas-powered scooters are all prohibited within the campground.
So stick to the designated modes of transportation.
Right. And this might seem like common sense,
Okay.
but no trespassing on neighboring land.
Of course.
It's private property,
Yes.
and it's important to respect those boundaries.
It's easy to get caught up in the fun of camping and kind of forget about those things.
It is.
The time.
It is. And it's important to remember that breaking campground rules or any local, state, or federal laws
Right.
can lead to immediate termination of your stay with no refunds.
So let's all be responsible campers
Yep.
and enjoy Lone Oak without any unnecessary drama.
Absolutely.